scenarios. This is Jeopardy!
Hello, it's time for Jeopardy! Good luck to all our players. Would you like to see the categories? Here goes.
Sickness and health. English grammar. 4-letter words. Deserts. The Civil War. Games.
Let's get the game underway, player one.
This is a game of guessing words or phrases acted out, sometimes syllable by syllable.
Player one. Exactly. All right, pick again.
Of bocce, bagatelle, and baccarat, the one that doesn't use balls.
Player three. To be sure. Player three, your turn.
It's the number of dice you toss on your first roll in Yahtzee.
Player one. That's it, exactly. Player one, what'll it be?
In this game, a person whose eyes are covered must determine a person's identity by feeling the face.
Player two. That's it. Player two, it's your turn.
Offered command of the Union troops, he instead became commander of Virginia's military.
Anyone? Your choice, player two.
Also known as an interrogation mark, it ends an interrogative sentence.
Player one. That's wrong. Here is the correct response. Player two, it's your turn.
This speech disorder of repeated hesitation in uttering words is also called stammering.
Player three. No, too bad. Player one. sorry. Player 2, it's your turn.
A synonym for a small island. Ireland is an emerald one.
Player 2. Why, yes. All right, pick again.
It's a slang term for a potato.
Player 1. That's it exactly. You're not far back now. Player 1, what'll it be?
The winner of a game of war winds up with this many cards.
Player 1. To be sure. All right, pick again.
This device is used to soften the tone of an instrument, such as a trumpet.
Here is the correct response. All right, pick again. Answer, $30. Player 1, please make your wager.
This heaviest fencing sword has a bowl-shaped guard and a long, narrow blade with no cutting edge.
Player 1. Yes, indeed. All right, pick again.
A summoning gesture. It precedes and call.
All right, pick again.
Generally, adverbs end with these two letters.
Player 3. No, that's incorrect. There's a lot of game left, so hang in there. All right, pick again.
It's the word used incorrectly in the sentence, "My friend and myself attended the party."
Player 2. That's correct. Your choice, Player 2.
At 3.5 million square miles, this desert is about as big as the United States.
Player 2. Regrettably, no. Player 1. Right you are. You're building up a big lead. What'll it be, Player 1?
This viral infection of the nervous system may take months to develop after the bite of an infected dog.
Player 1. You are correct. All right, pick again.
Chromium works with this pancreatic hormone in the utilization of glucose.
Player 2. Exactly. Player 2, your turn.
Can, may, and should are considered auxiliary ones.
Player 3. Why, yes. What will it be, Player 3?
The Sonoran and Colorado deserts border this large one, east of Los Angeles.
Player 1. No, too bad. Player 3. To be sure. All right, pick again.
This continent's Gibson Desert was named for explorer Ernest Giles' companion, who died looking for water.
Here is the correct response. All right, pick again.
This Civil War photographer studied photography with Samuel F.B. Morse.
Player 3. Why, yes. All right, pick again.
On February 4, 1861, the Confederacy began setting up its government in this Alabama city.
Player 2. That's right. Your choice, Player 2.
Two battles occurred near Manassas, Virginia, along this creek.
Player 2. That's correct. All right, pick again.
This prison near Americus, Georgia, was a 26-acre log stockade with a stream flowing through it.
Player 3. That's right. Player 3.
Boer trekkers who crossed this desert in the 19th century called it the Thirst Land.
Player 3. That's it. All right, pick again.
China's Yukon Satellite Launching Center is in Gansu Province, near the edge of this desert.
Player 2. That's correct. All right, contestant 2.
Beta blockers are drugs used to control hypertension, more commonly called this.
Player 2. That's right. All right, pick again.
When grocery shopping, never buy bulging cans. They may be a sign of this food poisoning.
Player 2. To be sure.
And to finish the board,
It's acceptable to end a sentence with one of these parts of speech, as in, she knew what to look for.
Player 1. Yes. Well, that brings us to the end of the first round.
Let's look at the total scores so far.
All right, it's time for Double Jeopardy. And now the categories for the Double Jeopardy round.
treaties, 20th century America, New York cities, sports history, famous relatives, Containers.
Player 3, you go first.
A kid or a politician doesn't want to be caught with his hand in this container.
Player 1. To be sure. Player 1.
Of Rye, White, or Pumpernickel, it's the city where Chief Justice John Jay is buried.
Player 3. Yes, indeed. Player 3, you choose.
Appropriately, it was once known as the Cataract City.
Anyone? Here is the correct response. Player 3, your turn.
Once the site of a utopian community, today it's famous for its flatware.
Anybody? Here is the correct response. Okay, player 3.
The 1815 Treaty of Paris was signed after his final defeat at Waterloo.
Player 3. Right you are. All right, pick again.
This treaty, signed in France in June 1919, didn't take effect until January 10, 1920.
Here is the correct response. All right, pick again.
The major issue settled by 1842's Webster-Ashburton Treaty was the disputed border of Canada and this northeast state.
Player 1. Good guess, but that's incorrect, unfortunately. Player 3. Yes. All right, pick again.
Reached in 1993, the second of these treaties calls for Russia and the U.S. to reduce their nuclear warheads by 2/3.
Player 3. That's it. All right, pick again.
U.S. and British representatives in Europe signed this treaty December 24, 1814.
Anyone? Here is the correct response. All right, pick again. Answer. Really double. Player 3, you have your wager, please.
This partner of David Brinkley was a descendant of John Adams and John Quincy Adams.
Player 3. That's right. All right, pick again.
This leading lady of the film Grease is the granddaughter of Nobel Prize-winning physicist Max Born.
Anyone? Here is the correct response. All right, pick again.
Orson Bean's great-grandmother and this silent president's mother were sisters.
Player 2? That's correct. What'll it be, Player 2?
This great female modern dancer and choreographer who died in 1991 was a direct descendant of Miles Standish.
Player 2? Good guess, but no. Here is the correct response. Player 2, what?
This comeback little Sheba playwright was said to be a distant relative of John Wilkes Booth.
Here is the correct response. Player 2, what?
This Nation of Islam minister led the Million Man March in Washington, D.C., October 16, 1995.
Player 2? That's right. All right, pick again.
Energy Turns the World was the theme of the 1982 World's Fair held in this Tennessee city.
Player 1? Yes. Player 1, your turn.
One may contain a selection of songs or photos. Its name is from Latin for white.
Here is the correct response. Your choice, Player 1.
One may hold a tempest or a dormouse.
Your choice, Player 1.
A casket is a coffin. A strongbox is this similar word.
Player 1? That's wrong. Here is the correct response. Your choice, Player 1.
It holds entertainment-seeking soldiers or water for soldiers.
Player 1? Yes. All right, pick again.
It's home to the Rockwell Museum of Western Art, as well as to a famous glassworks.
Anyone? Here is the correct response. All right, pick again.
Ulysses could tell you it's where Cornell University is located.
Player one. That's it. All right, pick again.
On October 14, 1933, Germany pulled out of this international organization.
Player three. You are correct. It's your turn, player.
In 1969, this Israeli leader visited the Milwaukee elementary school she had attended.
It's your turn, player.
The USSR may have lost several men in previous attempts to put one in space before his 1961 success.
Player three. Exactly. All right, pick again. The answer is a video daily double. Player three, we have your wager, please.
On April 22, 1995, he retained his heavyweight boxing title in a controversial decision against Axel Schultz.
Take a look at your monitor. Player three. Good guess, but that's incorrect, unfortunately. Here is the correct response. All right, pick again.
Lenny Wilkens surpassed this Celtics coach as the winningest coach in NBA history.
All right, pick again.
In 1972 and 1973, this school's Bill Walton was named Outstanding Player of the NCAA basketball tournament.
Player one. Yes. Player one, it's your turn.
In the 1950s, this Brooklyn Dodgers catcher was named the National League's most valuable player 3 times.
Anybody? Here is the correct response.
And to finish the board,
Nicknamed Cha-Cha, she exceeded 250 miles per hour as the first woman licensed to drive top fuel drag racers.
Player two. That's right. That's the end of Double Jeopardy.
Let's take a look at the scores.
Take a look at the category for Final Jeopardy.
State capitals.
Player 2, your wager, please. Player 1, please make your wager. Player 3, could we have your wager, please? All right, here's the answer. Good luck.
Let's see how everyone did.
Thanks, Johnny. Player 2, let's take a look at your question. That's right. And your wager was? You're in the lead. Player 1, your question? That's right. And your wager was? That puts you in the lead. Your question, Player 3. Oh, sorry. That's incorrect. How much did it cost? Yeah, you'll get them next time.
Congratulations, Player 1. You're the Jeopardy champion.
Thanks for playing Jeopardy.